USA told us this afternoon. That's coming up. But first, after months of telling you about one of the all-time great travesties of justice, it looks like the tide may finally be turning for wrongly imprisoned U.S. border agents Ramos and Compean. I don't want to get too excited and jump the gun here, but finally, it's just not me and Lou Dobbs scratching our heads wondering why these two loyal Americans ended up behind bars for over 10 years apiece for foolishly trying to stop an illegal alien drug smuggler from trafficking 750 pounds of dope in the U.S. That's not a court case. That's a Cheech and Chong movie. Lawmakers in Washington have now taken an interest in these two political prisoners, as I call them, asking tough questions to people like prosecuting attorney Johnny Sutton. Questions I don't think he has very good answers for, quite frankly. There is yet another D.C. hearing that is supposed to happen today, thanks to Judicial Watch. This is the public interest group that investigates and prosecutes government corruption. They have filed an application for injunctive relief. I'm not an attorney, but that doesn't sound too good, claiming that the U.S. government agencies have failed to produce records of the communications and the actions between the U.S. and Mexican officials concerning the prosecutions of these two guys. Joining me now to wade through all the legalese on today's proceeding is Chris Farrell. He is the Director of Investigations and Research at Judicial Watch. Chris, what is an application for injunctive relief quickly?
Glenn, what we're asking is that the government stop engaging in gamesmanship. We've asked for these documents to be produced to us. They failed to do so. We sued them. The government then continued to stonewall and double talk. And this is our effort to go to the court and say, Your Honor, look, the government is abiding by the law. They're involved in gamesmanship and all sorts of shenanigans. We need you to get involved.
Chris, I got to tell you, this is the kind of stuff that leads people into conspiracy theories. You know, whether there's a conspiracy or there's any kind of weird stuff going on between us and Mexico, every step of the way, the government has tried to stop people from looking into this case, all the way from Homeland Security officials lying to Congress and saying, no, you don't want this, you don't want to get involved in this, we have information, and them never producing that information.
Absolutely. And in this case, we have the government making representations to the court saying there's no public interest in the questions we've asked. And I find that both insulting and laughable at the same time.
Okay, what are you looking for? Are you looking for anything on the October load? Because there's something that, I mean, Johnny Sutton has told me this is happening, we're looking into it. Then he kind of alluded that we don't even know if that ever happened. Are you looking into that, or what exactly are you looking for?
In the broadest sense, we're looking for all the communications between Homeland Security, Justice, and State, and the Mexican government, and then those sets of communications between those three agencies on the deal that was struck, the immunity deal for Davila, the Mexican drug runner.
Do you have any idea on, I think his name is Rene Sanchez, he's the guy who's a border agent that his mother was called by the mother of the cartel member. And I said to Johnny Sutton just last week, for the love of Pete, at least tell me this guy is up on the Canadian border. I'm not saying that Rene Sanchez is dirty, but let's not have him with friends of a drug cartel down on the border.
Yeah, it's extraordinarily weird circumstances where Homeland Security IG agent is sent in and there's this personal affiliation. It's off the charts. There's a procedural error just to start with.
Okay, so last week, Feinstein said that she thought it was prosecutorial overreach, but there are words of, you know, Mexican helicopters, unmarked Mexican helicopters over our border, etc., etc. It's just Johnny Sutton, or do you think there's a chance this goes a lot deeper than that?
It's a lot deeper. There's a lot of pressure involved. There's a lot of political influence, and that's why we want to get a hold of these documents, because rather than speculating and guessing, we want the documents to speak for themselves, and that's why we've gone to court to force the government to produce these documents. Let's lay all the cards on the table. Let's educate the public about what really went on, and then folks can make their minds up. And that's what we're about as an organization, Judicial Watch.
You know, I have to tell you, I'm so disappointed and disillusioned with my own country. I mean, I don't want dirty cops. I don't want dirty border guards. I mean, if you're out intentionally shooting people on the border because you're just a scumbag, I want you in jail. And I don't have a problem with you in jail for 10 years. But everything in me says that this is not this case. And it may in the end turn out not to be, you know, that I'm wrong. It may turn out to be that I'm absolutely wrong on that. But I'd like to know. And I think that's the way the rest of the American people feel.
Absolutely.
So the latest is that some in Congress are going to push for the sentence to be commuted. Bush came out and said, Johnny Sutton is a good friend of mine. He has my confidence. Do you think that's going to happen? Is Bush going to push for this?
Well, I mean, if it's Scooter Libby in question, certainly the president's opinion be known very clearly. When you have two Border Patrol agents who put their lives on the line every day, somehow it gets forgotten, and that's a shame.
Chris, I wish you luck. You're on your way to the courthouse now. Just an unfriendly reminder for you of the time already served by agents Ramos, Compean, along with agent Gilmer Hernandez, while they wait for some sort of leniency or pardon on what I consider to be political prison terms. We're trying to do our part by selling these T-shirts. I have this made up, and you can buy them at my website, glennbeck.com. U.S. Border Patrol to protect and serve time. All of the proceeds, every dollar from these is going to their legal defense fund. Check it out at glennbeck.com.